Welcome back to Eat and Talk. My name is Yusra.
And I'm Gilbert, and we're back with another episode of Eat and Talk.
We have a very special episode today. We have our guest, Tanny, with United People Apparel. And I hope I say this right, a handful.
Yep.
Super, I'm obsessed with this store. When me and Gilbert first came here, we were just mesmerized, first of all, by the logo. Super unique. We'll definitely show some close-ups of the logo. And just the atmosphere and everything that they have, from like the cans to the shirts, the jewelry, everything about it is so amazing. And so this is one of our Mall of America stores, Black owned. We'll let Tanny introduce herself. So let's get started. How did United People Apparel come?
Well, United People Apparel was pretty much birthed out of our mother brand, A Handful. A Handful embodies us remembering that we destined from greatness. That we're kings and queens of our own destiny. And so United People Apparel kind of stemmed from the unity that we see lacking all across the nation. And so United People Apparel was birthed around late March, early April of last year. And it's just all about embodying that spirit of unity, embodying that spirit of humanity, most importantly. And so we're just here to share it with everyone, and we just hope that everyone get on board with the mission of unity. So
That's good. And I know you said that it started last year. So what kept you going throughout the pandemic?
Well, I think what kept us going was the momentum of that silence of unity not really being seen. And we know that there was a lot of different things that happened last year that kind of distract us or is pulling us away from actually being united. And so I think that's what United People Apparel thrived on, was that we're not going to just see what's going on around us and just be a blind eye to it. We want our brand to speak on that issue. We want our brand to be that light at the end of the tunnel, so that we can all remember again that we're all human beings and we need each other in order to survive. So
Definitely, and that's one of the things that really stood out to us when we first came in here. You will see that the logo, it has like people like holding hands, all the colors you have, you represent all the colors, like everything does feel very united in here. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about your background and who you are as a person. So tell us about young Tanny and what you used to do, and how you got from whatever you were to being a store owner here at the Mall of America.
well, my husband and I are both the owners of the store. My
Shout
husband,
out to him. Let's not forget.
shout out to Babe. His name is Emmanuel Boatin. He's originally from Ghana, West Africa. And so I believe the love of culture, I'm originally from Jamaica, so the love of culture coming together, I think, is what kind of maintained the momentum to make sure that this brand birthed in the way that it's supposed to. Because how I identify America is that we're like a melting pot, literally. And so, I'm so sorry.
I know, it's okay.
So it's literally like a melting pot. And what makes America great is not the fact that, that you can claim this or but the fact that we're all from different places, and I can celebrate your culture, you can celebrate my culture, and we can live together in unity. And so growing up in Jamaica, are just like how America has "In God We Trust." Jamaica's motto is "Out of many, we're one people." And so I grew up in that particular kind of culture. And so I have Chinese in my family, I have Jewish in my family, I have so many different individuals that makes up my own family. So when I came to the US, to see that was known as an issue was just like, wait a second, this is strange. But I think just the way how my family brought me up, and just also my husband, with how he was also brought up, I think that love of culture, love of differences is what makes United People Apparel United People Apparel. So
That's a very amazing story. That's very great. I know you started with comments. So can you tell us more about that?
Actually, I don't think she started with comments. You were the one brand that just came straight
in swinging.
That's still a very good question, though. I mean, how did you get this space in Mall of America? How do you feel Jamaican and Ghana owned and having United People Apparel debut here at the Mall of America?
To be honest, it still feels like a dream. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I tell myself I don't want to wake up, because if I wake up, maybe it won't be real. But it was literally a step of faith. We've just been building these designs and just, sharing it with our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers. And at one point, we're just like, let's just take a step. And so we reached out to the mall, and we were literally only going for a kiosk in the middle of the mall.
And did you have an online store before
Yep.
that?
We
Okay.
also had an online store, so we were mostly online. And so when we decided to reach out to the mall, we were literally just looking for the kiosk in the middle of the mall. We're like, we don't want no trouble. We just want to see how this is going to pan out. And we sent them our catalog, and they were like, yeah, no kiosk for you. You're going into a store, because if you take a kiosk, you're just limiting yourself. And so they worked with us, and they literally, the staff here has been very, attentive and great, and just to make sure that whatever we had in our minds for this brand, they were able to help us reflect that in our store. So it's to be honest, even the way how it even happened, we were just like, it could only be God, but we were just taking each day step by step and just hoping for the best. So
what was the biggest challenge trying to decide to go from a storefront and then still stick to the online?
I think the biggest challenge was, we know what our online presence is. We don't see our customers. We just, they may tag us every now and then. But this right here is like, they're gonna come in and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is real. So it became tangible. And so I think I would say it wasn't really a fear, but I think it was, how would the actual world respond? And that, because when you're online, you can be shielded from, they can buy something, and but this is where they will actually come to you. Actually see the expressions on their face and how they respond. And that was my biggest thing. I was like, because I'm not really.
And how did you feel seeing them touch, feel?
Oh my gosh.
On their faces?
It even blows my mind now to actually see people wearing, like with my own eyes. I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's wearing. But it felt great, because to see their reaction, and then to see our live design, for example, as soon as they see it, like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. How did you come up with this? And to be able to explain it to a live human being, it's just, it's more than what you can actually imagine, because it's as if you're saying, this person is actually seeing my vision and they're enjoying the vision with me. So, yeah.
And I think that's one thing that stood out to me when I came into the store was the Minnesota logo, and then you shared to us the same story behind the logo, which catches people's attention. It's just the way the logo is set up. It just catches people's attention. So
It is, and it's very diverse. It's very national. Like, I feel, like you said, like, this is what I consider make America great again. Like, I feel the greatness of America when I step into the store. I see. Okay, so I wanted to kind of go back a little bit to what you were saying about your transition from Jamaica to here, because I have a colleague who's from Jamaica. And he was telling me how, just like you said, like, his family, very diverse. Like, they don't feel anything when it comes to prejudice and race. Like, he was like, it didn't even cross his mind then. Everybody was welcomed. You see everyone in the streets, aside from like some of the civil rights things that were going, like the little wars that he mentioned. But other than that, like, there was no black versus white or anything. So when 2020, came around and the whole like George Floyd thing happened, like, he was kind of like in a culture shock.
Yes,
because until then, I mean, he's seen like little things and like what you see on TV and like, some injustice from brutality, but like, he just was so confused and he was confused that there was even a trial going on, and he was like, what is this? So I kind of want to know, like, what was your perspective and how did that kind of like motivate you into continuing to inspire others with your brand?
Well, as you mentioned before, as your coworker mentioned, growing up in Jamaica, it's like my neighbor next door. She was like a redhead, white skin, but she spoke my language, and it was just. We grew up as best friends because we're right next to the street. But it was such a, as he said, it was a culture shock, because it's like you're brought up one way and then you come to a completely different place and you're just like, so this is wrong, I'm not supposed to really communicate, or this person thinks they're above. It was really a hard adjustment, because when you're used to just communicating or being, I guess, a family with someone, and you know, with Jamaicans, as soon as you can ask anyone, as soon as you hear someone speak something, you're like, hey, welcome, hey brother, we're here. And so it was definitely, especially growing, I grew up in Brooklyn. My parents migrated to New York. And so New York also is kind of like a melting pot, we get along. So it was, when I moved here to Minnesota, I tell my husband this all the time, that the George Floyd incident was literally a shock for me, because I couldn't really believe that it, I mean, you hear of it, and in Jamaica, of course we know our history, we know, about slavery and all those things, but we weren't raised, to say, well, because of slavery, because this person is white, or because this person has a different color than you, that you have to, no, we were raised because of slavery. We're gonna build ourselves on being united, because out of many, we are one people. And so the George Floyd, as much as I'm like even still in shock to today, it's just a matter of just, what can I do? What can my husband and I do to make sure that the sense of unity and the sense of us belonging, because it's one thing to live in a place, but if you don't feel like you belong in a place, you would never feel comfortable. You would never feel like you have someone on your side. So what can we do to make people feel like, you know what, I belong here. My family lives here, my children lives here. And this is what United People is all about. It's like, we just want that sense of belonging for all human beings, because we come from Russia, we come from Jamaica, we come from Nigeria or wherever. But once we come here and we're slapped on as American aliens or immigrants or citizenship, you are an American. So it doesn't matter whoever has been here before you, I'm an American and I should be treated as that. So that's what United People Apparel is just.
Absolutely.
I think the name United People Apparel too, it has that sense of togetherness. I can't think of any brand else that, beside, I don't know, like I said, I can't think of any other brand. And the United People Apparel is just, the title, the brand name to me just feels together. It's just that connection. So can you explain how you guys went about picking that name?
Okay, that was a struggle, to be honest, because we noticed that our designs, we were developing a lot of designs, but like for example, our henfo, our designs for a henfo, which embodies the history and the culture of Africa, those designs kind of was a bit different from what we were starting to develop. And so we were like, we know what these designs mean to us. Trying to find a name, to be honest, was not easy. But one day I was working with one of our colleagues that was really close to us, and she was also helping us with our brand and going out to street fairs and trying to make our name out there. And I was just like, we really need to come up with a name for these designs, because we can't brace everything under a handful when it means something completely different. And we went through names. You would not. It took us like weeks. And then one day we're sitting down. I was like, People Apparel. She was like, yeah, but the sense of unity. I was like, and she was like, Unity People Apparel. I was like, that makes no sense. And I was like, okay, we're in the United States. How about we just bring the United and the people and then make it apparel? And she's just like, let's sleep on it. So we slept on it, and then after a while, we just started saying it. Oh, this is the United People Apparel, or UPA design. And after it just stuck with it, United People Apparel. And so that's how. But we wanted to make sure we got a name that can identify with everyone. So that's how United People Apparel became.
I love it. So what does the future look like for United People Apparel? Where do you see it heading next?
That's a great, with every parent, you want to make sure you want to see your child's future as being bright. And for my husband, this is our first baby. So I want to see it becoming more than a household name. I want it to be more of a stamp in history saying that this brand was created just for this. Because for us, it's more, United People Apparel is more than just clothes or fashion. It's a lifestyle for us. In everyone that we come in encounter with, we have to represent our brand. We're not going to look down on anyone, and we hope that they don't look down on us, but we walk United People Apparel, we talk United People Apparel, we are United People Apparel. So we're hoping that it will become more than just a household name. It will become a nation's name. You know, it will become an international name, because the whole world needs unity at this point. So we're hoping for it to be within a couple years, nationwide, of course, but 10, 15, at least international. That's what we're aiming for.
No, I love the passion. Like all my interviews, I always tell people, like, this is your story, and the background and the passion is why Yusuf and I have this platform. So it's just listening to you speak about it is just so amazing how passionate you are.
Yeah.
You said this is you guys' first child.
It is.
So and
Baby girl.
baby steps.
Yes.
And it's just so amazing that you are in the mall. So what are some advice that you can give someone that wants to be in the mall and wants to take that chance and not short themselves? Because you wanted to get a kiosk.
Yeah.
But then the mall told you that you would be short, you becoming short by yourself. So what is some advice that you can give someone that wants to have a storefront in the Mall of America?
What I would say is do your research and make sure that whatever steps you're taking is benefiting not just your business, but also you. And make sure that you build relationships. Don't be afraid to walk around the mall and talk to other tenants. A lot of tenants are willing to speak to you regarding traffic and all those other things. But also make sure that no one discourages your vision. No one discourages your mission of whatever it is that you're trying to build, whether you're doing a small restaurant or a clothing brand or whatever it is. Do not allow anything or anyone to distort that vision. People can advise, and some advice sometimes is not positive, and some advice sometimes is, discouraging. But if you have a vision for something, or you feel it with your whole body, sometimes I tremble because I feel it so passionately. That's what you have to thrive on, and just encourage yourself. Surround yourself with builders, not breakers. So people who will invest in your vision, whether it's word by mouth, whether it's by prayer, whether it's by assisting you financial, whatever it is. Just surround yourself with people who are going to build you up and not tear you down.
I love that. That inspired me. I'm like, let me find a store here in the mall now. Like, that's amazing.
Eat and Talk studio in the mall. So sure. That is very inspiring. So which product is your favorite product?
I was literally gonna ask that. I literally was gonna ask that. That's a good question.
I honestly, if I choose one of them, might get jealous. Let's see. Honestly, I would have to come back to my live. Yeah. The live is actually what kind of birthed United People Apparel. Do you mind if I grab something?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So the live is it embodies in all of our, for example, it embodies the people of Minnesota. It is cut in the silhouette of Minnesota, but it's the people who makes Minnesota. And it actually is embedded with our state flag. And so we're about to come out with other states within the next couple weeks. We'll be enrolling designs for all 50 states. And so
you guys heard it here first. Right. You guys heard it here first. Wow.
And so we just want to capture the people, because we can easily look at a map and just look at a map. But when you look at a map of people creating that state is kind of what makes me love this design above all. So we kind of try to make sure that we flow it throughout all of our.
Yeah, that is I mean, I love everything in the store, but this is my favorite as well, for sure. That's amazing.
Yeah, like I said before, it was the design, the Minnesota logo that caught my attention. So,
I love it.
it's just so amazing.
And for my husband, I believe for him, it will definitely be a handful. A handful is a handful is his. Because in his language, he's from Ghana, he speaks Twi, it means royalty. So it's just remembering and embracing that we're kings and queens. No matter how much society try to categorize us or strip us away, a handful is just embracing that kingship and that, yes. So for him, it will definitely be anything with that logo on it.
I love it. And that actually is very powerful too. With the United People Apparel, I love how that's in the middle and how you have the royalty, a handful on the side. And it's everything about it is very unique. So definitely you should be very proud of yourself. I think you'll inspire many people for sure. And like I said, I'm inspired. So tell people where in the mall you're located and where else they can find you.
Okay, you can easily find us online at www.unitedpeopleapparel.com. But if you're ever in the Mall of America, just stop by on the 3rd floor, right across from Nordstrom's. We're at W368. So, yep, right next to Goldie's. That's where you can find us physically.
And we always end our interview with advice. I know you kind of gave us an advice earlier, but we always want to know what is one advice that you can give.
Don't be so easy, just in general, to inspire others.
Always expect the ultimate and positive result in every situation.
Can you say that again for the people that we're not paying attention?
Always expect the ultimate and positive result in every situation. So that's something I've been thriving on since high school. Drive-in, always, no matter what. Just expect that positive result.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for that amazing.
Yeah, that's a very positive way to end this. Thank you so much once again for having us. Everyone check out United People Apparel and a handful. I don't think you guys will be disappointed at all. It's something for every season, it looks like, and so we also love to say, like, we love to touch back with the people that we interview a couple months down the line, see where you're at, how you have grown. So we'll definitely be touching base with Tanny, and we're really excited that she invited us into her lovely space today. So.
And if I could mention something, next month for Juneteenth, we'll actually be celebrating Juneteenth in our store. So we'll be bringing Africa to the store. A handful will be highlighted that month. So stay tuned for that one.
Love
it. Heard it here first.
Thank you. Well, we look forward to it, and we'll definitely stop by. And so thank you so much once again.
Not a problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That's it.